Hey guys, Apex Hockey here, and today I'll be making a tier list about NHL rivalries. NHL rivalries are a part of hockey that makes it so fun to watch, especially when two teams have been playing each other for a really long time. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Now, before I actually put them on the list, I should probably explain what each tier means. D tier, pretty much nobody cares, or I shouldn't say nobody cares about it, because obviously if you're a fan of that team, you care about it, but like in a league-wide point of view, nobody really cares about it. C tier, I feel like there's going to be a lot of teams in C tier, because I'm putting C tier as either teams that aren't there yet as a rivalry, like don't have much historical value, but I feel like in the upcoming years will become a really good rivalry, or teams that had a good rivalry but it fell off quite a bit. Or just rivalries that are mediocre and I feel like are below B tier. B tier, I'm gonna put rivalries that are like pretty good, like it's fun to watch, or rivalries that were really good in the past, or not necessarily like really good, but like ones that have been consistent throughout their time playing each other, and even if they're not as good as they were, that like have earned a spot in B tier instead of C tier. A tier, just a really fun rivalry to watch, not like one of the all-time bests, but just a really fun one to watch. And S tier, only going to be like 5 or 6 maybe in there. Obviously, like the ones that are known league-wide, great ones to watch, always have been fun to watch, have great historical value. And I'll also be putting them in their tier based off of historical value and like how fun it is to watch, like depending whether or not a team is playing really good or not. Like if one team's really good and another team's not, and that one team is winning every game, then it's not going to be as fun to watch. So anyways, let's get into it. First up, Rangers and Islanders. I'm going to put it in C tier. I don't feel like it's been there. Like, I don't think it has that much historical value, or I shouldn't say that, but I just don't feel like the rivalry has been that good, really, over the years. But I feel like in the upcoming years it will get better. Same with the Kings and Flames. And I feel like with a lot of the rivalries here that have the Kings in it, they're not going to be that high, because recently the Kings haven't been that good, but with their prospect pool, I feel like they're going to get a lot better. Penguins and Flyers. I feel like I'm gonna put it in S tier. I mean, even before Crosby and Giroux's beef, I feel like that rivalry had a lot of historical value, and it was always fun to watch. And just adding Crosby and Giroux, I feel like that makes it even better. Next one, Habs and Bruins, another S tier. Probably the most well-known rivalry in hockey. A pretty obvious S tier there. Ducks and Kings, I'm going to put it in C tier. With the Ducks and the Kings, they haven't been that good recently, but I feel like their prospect pool will definitely help them get better and make it a better rivalry. Leafs and Senators, I'm also going to put in C tier. I know I'm being a bit repetitive, but Leafs and Senators, Leafs always been a solid team. The Senators have fallen off in the past couple years, not playing that well, but they have a stacked prospect pool, and hopefully that makes them a better team and increases this rivalry. Next two teams, Avalanche and Red Wings, another S tier. I mean, pretty obvious, especially like back in the day whenever these two teams played, it was always a really fun one to watch, and it was always a big fight to see who would win. Next up, Rangers and Devils. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I don't know if I would say it was like a really big rivalry back in the day, but I feel like just like they've had a big historical like rivalry, and it's usually a fun game to watch if they're both not playing really bad in a year, which it like has been in the couple recent years. But I feel like just overall with like how it's been like historically, I feel like it does deserve a spot in B tier. Next up, Hurricanes and Capitals. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I feel like it's almost there in B tier because it is really fun to watch, especially because these two teams are playing really good right now. But I don't feel like it's there quite yet. Same with the Lightning and Panthers, especially with the Panthers addition of Patrick Hornquist. I feel like that'll bolster their lineup even more to the point where they're a playoff caliber team. And I feel like from now on with the Lightning and Panthers, I feel like it'll definitely be a more fun game to watch. Next up, Bruins and Lightning. I'm going to put an A tier. Historically, they haven't been playing each other for a long time, but I feel like just in the recent years, these two teams have been dominating the East, and I feel like whenever they play, it's always really fun to watch, especially in the playoffs recently. For example, this year, with Victor Hedman's second overtime goal to send the Lightning on to the next round and knock off the Bruins. So next up, Leafs and Sabres. I'm going to put it in D tier. I feel like it could definitely change if the Sabres get better. But, the thing is, with the Kings and Ducks, I would possibly put them in D tier, but I know they have a big prospect. They both have big prospect pools, and the Senators too. All three of them, I know they have pretty big prospect pools, and they have a really good chance of getting better in the upcoming years. Whereas the Sabres, even though they have Eichel and now Taylor Hall, I don't believe they have that good of a prospect pool at the moment, and for that reason, I don't know if they'll get a lot better in the upcoming years, which will make this rivalry even better. So I feel like I am going to put that in D tier. I don't feel like it's cared about that much throughout the league. Flames and Oilers. Battle of Alberta, it gained incredible popularity throughout the league this season. But if it's going to go in A tier, B tier. I'm going to put it in A tier for now, because I feel like this season was the start of this rivalry, and I feel like in the upcoming years it's only going to gain popularity. And these two teams are both playoff teams, and so obviously it's going to be fun to watch them play every time. Or I shouldn't say every time, but most of the time it's going to be fun to watch them play. And for that reason, I feel like it's going to go in A tier just because this rivalry is only going to get better. Red Wings and Leafs. It has pretty good historical value. Whenever two original six teams play, it is fun to watch. However, with the Red Wings falling off a cliff in the past few years, I don't really feel like it's that fun to watch at the moment. But I feel like with the Red Wings also having a pretty good prospect pool, it's going to get better. Let's see here. Blue Jackets and Penguins, I just kind of lost my train of thought there. Also going to go in C tier. I know I am being a bit repetitive here, but there are a lot of rivalries in this league right now that are on the verge of being really good but aren't there yet. So just like with the Penguins and Blue Jackets, it's usually pretty fun to watch them play, but I don't feel like it's a B tier caliber rivalry yet. Same thing with the Canucks and Flames. They're both really good young teams. The Canucks pretty much lost their entire team to the Flames, so I feel like it's definitely going to be fun to watch them play now, knowing that the Flames have a good portion of the Canucks team from last year. Next up, Leafs and Bruins. I'm going to put it in S tier. Historical value, it does have a lot of historical value, just like they're both original six teams. Whenever these two teams play in the playoffs, it's really fun to watch, even though the Leafs a lot of the time blow a Game 7 lead, or just the series in general. But I feel like whenever these two teams do play, it's always fun to watch, and I feel like that's not going to change anytime soon. Blues and Jets. As a Blues fan, a couple years ago, I would say this rivalry wasn't really cared about that much, but with us playing the Jets in the playoffs for the past couple years now, I feel like that rivalry has definitely increased, and I feel like it's only going to get bigger in the upcoming years. Wild and Blackhawks, I'm going to put it in D tier. I don't really hear that much about this rivalry at all throughout the league, and I just feel like they don't really have that much historical value in it. Obviously, if you're a Wild fan or Blackhawks fan, you're probably going to care about it a bit more, but I just don't feel like it's cared about that much throughout the league, so I'm going to put it in D tier. Next up, Blues and Blackhawks. Pretty obvious S tier. When I was a lot younger, and even now, I guess, whenever I would go to Blues and Blackhawks games, half the arena would probably be filled with Blackhawks fans just because they're so close to each other. Then, it's always fun to watch these two teams play. It's always a dogfight, and, it has great historical value, too. Next up, Penguins and Capitals. I'm going to put it in S tier. Now, I contemplated putting it in A tier just because they didn't have that much historical value before, but then I remember, Crosby and Ovechkin have been in the league, forever now, and, they have pretty much, lit this, or I shouldn't say that. That was a weird way to phrase it, but, they increased this rivalry's popularity so much throughout the years, and I feel like it's only going to get better. And even when Ovechkin and Crosby aren't playing anymore, I feel like this rivalry would definitely still be there. Golden Knights and Sharks. This is a tough one because both franchises are relatively new. Well, I mean, the Golden Knights are really new, and the Sharks franchise isn't new, but like the branding of the team is new. I contemplated putting this in A tier actually, just because for historical value for the Golden Knights, it's a really good rivalry for them. But I'm gonna put it in B tier just because it's like with C tier, it's teams that their rivalries aren't there yet, and I mean the Sharks and Golden Knights rivalry, it's already there. Like it's already a really good rivalry. Next up, Predators and Stars. I'm gonna put it in C tier. They played in the Winter Classic, obviously, as most of you know. It's a fun game to watch. They're both Central Division rivals. I feel like that rivalry will definitely gain popularity in the upcoming years. Now I'm just going to look around and see if there's anything I want to change. And I don't know. The only rivalry I feel maybe I would change is the Penguins and Blue Jackets, just because I feel like these two teams play each other a lot more than some people realize, and it usually is a really fun game to watch, but I feel like I like how it looks right now. I know C tier has a lot of teams in it, but on the bright side, I feel like that just means that in the upcoming years, these rivalries will get even better, and they'll be even more like really fun, enjoyable rivalries to watch throughout the league. So anyways, this has been Apex Hockey. I hope you had a fun time watching this video. Anyways, see you next time.